I am driving onto the ranch for the first time. Under the steel gates, I see the mountains in the distance, and the pastures in front of them just dotted with mama cows and those cute little baby calves. It is a beautiful summer day, and the smell of summer grasses and hay is in the air. And as I continue through the ranch, my excitement for my new role is quickly fading to panic when I realize how much I don't know about what I'm seeing. I have just been appointed the project manager for a beautiful, sustainable ranch in New Mexico, complete with all the animals from Old MacDonald's farm. And in case you can't tell, I'm a city girl, right? So for me, the closest I have come to ranching is the rotting lawnmower I used in the backyard when I was a kid. Steak, it comes from the grocery store, right? On some, styrofoam colored in cellophane. And cowboy boots should have bling on them. Just saying. So after I go through my day at the ranch, just getting myself acquainted, I fall into my room and I am exhausted, just physically and mentally exhausted. And my first thought is, what did I get myself into? Have you ever done that? New role, new position, new project, and all of a sudden you're like, what was I thinking? Well, I can tell you what I was thinking. That night I was thinking, oh my goodness, well, they hired me for this job, so they must think I can do it, right? But what if I can't? What if they figure out that I don't know what I'm doing? But I can learn, right? And so this ping-ponging back and forth just left me exhausted. And that is when I figured out, if I was going to do this, I was not going to do it alone. So the next morning, feeling a little gritty, a little bleary-eyed, I head down for my blessed first cup of coffee. And in walks John. John is the livestock manager at the ranch, and he reports to me. Now, John is as big as the state that he comes from, Delaware. No, I'm just kidding. John is this big, 6'5" Texas boy. And he has been on the ranch for years. And I have this favorite saying, and I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And although John didn't realize it, he was going to be my teacher. Now, he didn't look like I thought a teacher should look. He certainly didn't act like I thought a teacher should act, because John is one of those people who has an attitude. He just likes to stir the pot. Yeah, one of those. And I can tell that he knows that I'm a city girl. And although he doesn't say overtly, I can tell by the smirk on his face as he turns and walks away towards the barn saying, come with me. So as we walk into the barn, I get my very first lesson on ranch life, and he introduces me to Canyon. Canyon is a beautiful buckskin quarter horse. You know that pale brown color with 4 espresso brown socks and a mane? He has one blue eye and one brown eye. I fell in love right then and there. And in my excitement, I go to approach the animal, and John is just like, whoa, wait a minute. Just take a moment. Allow him to understand that there's somebody new in his environment, and then connect. It was interesting. John did become my mentor on the ranch. And of all of the lessons that he taught me, and there were many that were very important, he taught me how to leave the land better than you found it, even when you're running animals on it. How to take care of your livestock without stressing them out. And how not to get kicked by a horse or gored by a buffalo. Those were 2 very important lessons as well. But out of all the lessons that he taught me on the ranch, that first one of connection was the one that was the most important. Connection is how you gain respect and trust with an animal. It also works for humans. Connection is how you improve the land. You connect with it first. You figure out what it needs. Also works for humans. And connection is how we built strong relationships on the ranch. that allowed the individual contributors to be successful, but the ranch overall. That connection. And it really got me thinking, because it was so interesting. The ranch really thrived, and it all started with that non-traditional relationship with John, my mentor. And what also has been interesting is the past few years. I mean, think about it. You've got the Great Resignation, where everybody's just leaving their jobs in droves. Then you had the Great Retention coming on the other side of it. You're just trying to keep the people that you have and get job applicants to show up for the interview, right? And now I describe this as a period that we're in where it's the great disconnect, because it feels like as a society we are separating when in fact we need to be coming together to solve the issues that we face today. And that is no more apparent in business. And so I thought back to my time at the ranch. What can we do to help organizations feel more connected? How can we get them to start coming together as a group? And I thought, mentoring. So today I'm going to challenge you to consider mentoring in your association, your members' organizations. And here's why it's important. Two numbers, 50 and 100. 50. In 2022, over 50 million people left their job. In 2023, the trend isn't down a whole lot. So we're still in it. 100. When people leave your organization, 100% of their salary is what it takes to replace them at the minimum. When you consider lost profits, lost productivity, hiring someone, training them, onboarding, and all the expenses that go with it. That's no small chunk of change. And let's not forget the multiplier effect. What is the multiplier effect, you might ask? That is when a good person in your organization moves on, other good people in your organization think about moving on too. And then what are you left with, right? So an easy way to start this culture of connection is through mentoring. Now, mentoring is simply when you've got a skilled and trusted advisor. They share their expertise with someone who is less experienced. That's it. But people tend to overcomplicate it. So I've got a few myths I'd like to dispel. Mentoring myth number 1. Mentoring always has to be a one-on-one, long-term, time-consuming relationship only focused on overall career trajectory. No, it doesn't. Mentoring myth number 2 is that the mentor must be the boss, the supervisor, someone in your company, someone at least in your industry. No, they don't. Mentoring myth number 3, that the mentor must be older or somehow an expert. They don't have to be. So let's talk about how you can easily incorporate an element of mentoring in your organization. And that's where my program comes in. It's called the Successful Mentoring Mindset. And the beauty of this program is that it can be delivered 2 ways. If you have people that want to understand and get clarity on what's next in their career, in their leadership, in their organization, in their business, then we can guide them through the process that they can use mentoring as a resource and a tool to do just that. Give them a little extra oomph. If you have a small business and you want to start embracing mentoring in your organization, well, then we can deliver it that way. And you can understand how to take the technique and connect with your people. So step 1 in the successful mentoring mindset is that you explore what could be next. So I'm going to use a case study from my own business. Her name is Jennifer. Jennifer is a smart, motivated woman in financial services. She was making great progress, year over year, getting promoted in her career, until one day she wasn't. And Jennifer came to me because she was frustrated. She couldn't figure it out. At this point in her life, she didn't know what the next right move was for her. So we just had a conversation. No wrong answers, just be curious. What are you interested in? What are the roles that you're interested in? What are the skills that you're curious about, or projects that have kind of been in the back of your mind? Who are the people that you admire for what they do? And this just got her unstuck and thinking forward. And so we came up with a list of ideas. There was no wrong answer. So that's step number 1. Figure out what could be next. Step number 2, map it out. I like to use an org chart, an organizational chart. Are you all with me? You're familiar with an organizational chart? So after you have brainstormed in step 1 what all the ideas are, take the top one, put it in the CEO position, okay? SVP on the org chart. What are the high-level categories that you need to invest in or look at in order to achieve that goal in the president's spot? Okay? Then we're going to go down underneath that. Under each category, you're going to start listing out what are the tasks or projects or things that you need to look at that are going to roll up in that category that are going to lead you to that goal. That's it. That happens in a couple of minutes. So step number 3 is find the people who can help you. Now that you've mapped it all out, now you can easily see who are the people that you can tap. Because another one of my favorite sayings is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. When it comes to building a culture of connection and mentoring in your organization, obviously it's something that it doesn't happen just you by yourself. So my hope for you is that you'll take these tidbits back and start incorporating a mentoring mindset in your own organization, that you'll start connecting with the people that you have in your organization. And my real hope is that you'll connect with me if I can be of good service to you to deliver the successful mentoring mindset or any one of my other career and leadership development topics. So just like John taught me on the ranch, it all starts with connection. And mentoring is an easy way to do that. I'm Debbie Peterson of Getting to Clarity. It has been such a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for coming. Take care.